What is the most important thing that you can do regarding law of attraction and to make sure you're on track? Now, stick with me because I'm going to give you some quick examples of this a little later on in this video. And this is going to be a quick video. So, the most important thing I think you can do is monitor what's going on. So you see something out there and you say, oh, wow, that's really good. But then you don't just stop there. No. With the law of attraction, what you want to do is you want to look back and you want to say, okay, what was I thinking to produce these results? And then really what you really want to do is start thinking, these things and then notice when they show up. And they won't show up like you think they will. They might, but 9 times out of 10, they don't. And so, you're rolling along and this great thing happens. You see it, you look back and you say, oh, that's what I was thinking. Or you get a call like I did recently. I got a call or a text or something and it said this. And I said, oh, well, here we go. This is the reflection of what I was thinking. So let me give you an example. So I'm thinking of this scenario. Now I've got a bunch of them and I recommend, you have a bunch of them and you don't really think about how they're going to happen. None of that. It's just what would it look like at the end, just like Neville Goddard talks about. So you think about the end. So I've got this scenario where I'm thinking about, okay, this movie studio is going to come along and want to rent my classic 69 Ford Galaxy 500 convertible. And they're going to pay me this amount and they want it for this long. I've got the whole scenario. Do I know how that's going to happen? No, I don't care. What I'm looking for is the feeling. So I get that feeling of how that feels. And then so I've added to that. Okay, so once we get started with that, now I'm their go-to guy for cars. So, if they need, if they need a BMW, they need an old raggedy Rambler or something, they're going to call me. So all that's part of my, imagination. That's it. But now that has not happened yet. So, but here's the point. What did happen was I got a text or a call, I can't remember. Anyway, it was like, hey, let's go to lunch. And so we went to lunch and it was at this retirement home. And so I'm sitting there with, 3 or 4 elderly ladies and one of them says, how do I sell my car? I'm like, oh, here we go. This is, the lineup. And I say, well, you can do it on Carvana or kids, you can give it away to kids, or you can do all these things, By the way, I buy cars too. And I said, what do you have? And I pulled it up on Kelley Blue Book and I turned it around and I showed her, okay, here are the different prices. There's a dealer price, there's a private party price, there's an as-is price, there's a really good condition price, and there's a trade-in price. And I said, based on this, I'd give you this amount. And she said, yeah, that'll work. And so we went and looked at it and it had a thing in the door, so it wasn't quite what she said. I said, look, I'd given you a range. It was only $100 difference. I'll do this. And she said, okay, yeah, that's fine. So anyway, the point is not all the details of all that. The point is that's a realization of a thought. I did not start calling people looking for cars. I didn't go on Craigslist and start searching that out. So this is the law of attraction. And it's really difficult, one more thing, for most of us, including me, to say, okay, I am not going to go get it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go make it happen. I am going to sit quietly and work in here and meditate for an hour or an hour and a half. I usually do a process of several different things about an hour and a half every day. And then I try to do some of that or all of that at night as well. Why? Because I don't believe that any amount of physical action I can do is equal to the mental action to produce what I want to see on the outside. If it is true that what Neville Goddard says, if it's true that what is out there is only our inner selves pushed out on the screen of space, and that this is a screen of us to look at to monitor our thoughts and feelings, then what are you going to put your faith in? The people that don't know or don't believe that and are constantly told you got to go get it, you got to go make it happen, you got to go work hard, you got to do this and that and the other? Or are you going to believe the truth of the matter from people who are, if you look for it, you'll find a bunch of them that will say the same thing. And now I'm here as a testimonial to tell you about that. Now, another thing that just happened is I'm thinking, real estate. I need some things to happen in real estate. And I've got, my scenarios. And so I get a call out of the blue from somebody I mentored 20 years ago, a long time ago. And he says, hey, my daughter's doing some real estate and she needs a mentor. Would you be interested? I said, yeah, so have her give me a call. So she called, we met. I don't know what's going to happen out of that, but I'm not looking for that. I mean, per se, I'm just noticing it when it shows up. And I said, yes. All I have to do is say yes. So the most important thing you can possibly do is two things now. Is monitor what's happening in front of you. If you don't like it, don't pay any attention to it. Now, I know that's difficult because it's going to keep showing up in your face, but do the best you can. That's all we can do, is the best we can. Do I have things that show up that I don't like? Absolutely. Totally, 100%. But am I paying much attention to those? Some, but not. I'm not totally ignoring it. I can't. I'm just a human. But I'm doing a great job, I think, of keeping those thoughts under control. And that's what this is. It's a thought game. It's a mind over matter game. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't care if you think I'm full of it. I really don't care, because I already know. I know what it is. It's up to you, to figure it out. And that's why I'm saying you monitor your thoughts. You look back at what you're thinking. You see see what happens, see the sequence. Then you turn that around and you say, I'm going to create my own stuff. And you start thinking these great things that you want to have happen in your life. And then you see what happens and you say, oh, okay, I get it. Now you're really off to the races, as it were. And then you just don't believe all the media and your best friends and your peer group and your mom and your dad or your brother or your sister. None of that matters, because they're not even there. They work for you in your imagination. But it's up to you to pick and choose what it is you wish to have happen.